Boa noite, allemaal welcome. Welcome iedereen. I'm assuming we're just doing it in English. Yep. Yes, all right. Okay, welcome. My name is Johanna Franco Zapata. I am, I think I'm the first student of IBB who left the island to pursue a study at an art academy in the Netherlands. I think I was also part of the very first year. So, you know, thinking about these past 15 years, it's like it's unreal that 15 years have passed so fast. And I'm just very happy and proud to, you know, to be part and have been part of IBB for the past 15 years. So after I finished my preparatory course here at IBB, I went to the Netherlands to study fine arts in Amsterdam. After that, I returned, after 5 years, I returned to the island and I started working here at IBB. I didn't study to be a teacher. I studied fine arts. But when I was here at IBB, I had the opportunity to give a workshop and it went quite well. And so I stuck here to IBB. In the past 15 years, a lot has happened and there has been a lot of growth. So tonight I want to share that with you. I want to share my journey and I call it a quest for freedom. I shall start with my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation that I have over here. Right. Yes. Okay. So my quest for freedom, it started when I met these two guys. I met David and Tirso. I met both of them, but in different occasions. But it was around the same time. I think it must have been 2004, 2005. And in 2006, IBB started, right, Omar? 2006. And then I had the opportunity to do a year of IBB. I was actually planning to go study medicine. I wanted to become a plastic surgeon because it's good to say something a little bit about my background. I was born in Colombia, and when I was 7 years old, me and my mom moved here to the island. And so I started IBB when I finished high school. And in this period that I came to Curaçao, you know, as a Colombian, you are taught that, especially if you come from a low income, you are taught that, you know, if you have the opportunity to be abroad, to study abroad, like you better study something, you know, that is like worthwhile. So what is worthwhile for this culture is, you know, being a doctor, being a lawyer. And, you know, you grow up with this kind of like a responsibility of like helping your family, you know. But when I met these two guys, everything changed because they showed me that there was a different way in approaching life. It was, they showed me that it was possible for me to have my own dreams and not just, you know, go study, become somebody so you can help your family. And this moment was very crucial for me. That's the moment that I realized I want to study art, because that's another thing these two guys showed me, is that it is possible to earn your bread with art. You know, there's this cliche mentality or opinions of people about art. They say that you know, you cannot survive with art. And so coming to IBB and being under the guidance of David Tirso really, you know, changed my perspective on life. And then I decided, you know, I want to go study art. And then that happened. It wasn't easy. Art Academy was tough because nobody told me, you know, you could be whatever you wanted to be in being an artist. I thought there was this like a specific, I don't know, recipe in becoming an artist. And I was just very obsessed in finding this, this formula. But of course, I didn't find the formula because there is no formula for being an artist. This is something that you, as a creative, you create yourself. And so coming back to IBB, after my studies in the Netherlands, I started producing a series of paintings. Trying to click here, but nothing's happening. Technical difficulties. Moment. Yes. So this is a series. I made a selection of what I thought were the most representative works. This,
so, yeah.
This figure, that you see here is called the Iron Supremacist, and it's this like character that I created. I think it's a self-portrait, and I think it's, you know, a reflection of me, of my struggles that I was going through at that time. In this period, I'm still trying, you know, to very hard to be very unique, because, you know, there is this thought that artists, you know, they need to be unique in order to be successful. And but what is unique? What is original? If we think of this, there is nothing original. We are influenced by each other. We are influenced by everything around us. So the idea of being unique and original is really, yeah, it's kind of like a crazy idea. I was very interested in technique, you know, like in different techniques of painting, and like, you know, obsessed with creating my own technique. And then there was this Dutch artist, Frans Franciscus. He came to IBB as an artist in residence, and he shared with us a technique that he used to use in his paintings a lot. And this technique is called the Krisaya Technique, and that's what you see in the image. This is quite a large painting. It's taller than me. I'm 159 centimeters long. So yeah, it's a very impressive painting, and but it also kind of like, you know, I was looking for yeah, to learn more techniques, you know, I had the idea that the more knowledge I could gather, like the better artist I could be. So the whole time I'm busy with kind of like creating like something that will complement and support, you know, this image of an artist that I thought that I wanted to be. And so when I finalized this painting, I was very proud of the painting, and I got like a lot of good comments on this painting. I mean, I still do get a lot of compliments on this painting, you know, and it's great to receive compliments. I mean, who doesn't like to receive compliments? But this painting, it was the end for me for this way of painting. I felt that, you know, reaching this level, I don't know, I thought it would be different, but it totally, I had to step away from painting for a while after this painting, and I went into a period of plastic. It was a period where I made a lot of works with plastic bags, and so it was kind of like it was a research period, but it was, I think, more of a, I was afraid of going back to painting because I knew that I didn't want to go back to this. I knew that something new needed to happen. So I chose plastic to do so. It's important also to mention that in this period, so we're talking more or less 2014, 2015, I was a full-time Christian at that time. And I am no longer a Christian. I do not associate myself with any religion anymore. But so this painting it was actually a Mother's Day gift I gave to my mother, and it was to tell her, you know, like, it's gonna be okay, even though I'm not gonna be, you know, going to church, and it's gonna be okay. And for me, it was also a moment to think, you know, that it's okay to find your own way of living. Because at that time, or before this time, I was, you know, very strict with myself and living like the Bible says you're supposed to live, and it didn't bring me happiness. It didn't bring me what I thought it would bring me, but it did bring me a lot of lessons. You know, a lot of it was an opportunity for me to actually research religion inside out and make my mind up about that. So that was like a very key moment for me. And after that, like this kind of like this need, this urge of expressing how I really felt inside became a thing. Because of course, before that, church tells you, you know, you're supposed to keep things like your sexual preferences to yourself if you're not strict, you know. And so this whole journey started. It's a journey of acceptance because of my, let's say, the Colombian culture. I have been rejected by my family. I would say mostly by my mother. She is very, well, she used to be very, you know, gay is going straight to hell. I want you to go to heaven. Please stop seeing chicks and things like that. So I had this student, Alexander Dick, and he used to be a student back in the day. Now he's an artist of himself. And I related a lot with him, with what I was going through at the time, and then I spoke to him about it, and then we came up with the idea of making this collaboration. It's actually a video. These are the stills from the video. I think I do have the video here. Yes. Oops. All right. That was a transition. Um, for those of you who are not into the same sex, um, it's a tough world. It's a tough world, especially when you don't have the support of your family. You know, when other people criticize you, yeah, you know, it's like it's water under the bridge. When it's your, you know, your people, the people you love, the people you trust that reject you, it's really fucked up. And so I started creating these works um, uh, because I had this urge, you know, to say that, to be heard um, by the people that I loved. After I made that video with Alexander, I was, you know, really wanting to step out of that mental prison, you know, of like being the way my mom wanted me to be, you know, stepping out of that kind of like role, because even though I was honest with my mom and told her about my preferences, there were still things I was doing to like keep her happy, to compensate for me not being the way she wanted me to be. And so one of those things was my hair. I kept my hair long. I used to have way longer hair than what I have right now. And so hair was this thing like that belongs to a woman, and it's like this jewel that we carry. But I felt really imprisoned by it and decided to cut my hair short, you know, with an undercut, fade in, you know, like a masculine. It was a masculine hairstyle. And when I showed up at home, I was very happy and proud, you know, for having, yeah, the ovaries to do this. But yeah, I got really bad comments at home. And I had this urge because, you know, my mom was like, yeah, she treated me like I was this some kind of trash that is no longer a girl, you know, and I was really upset by this because I still feel like a girl. And so I made this work, and this work is made out of like a stamp, and it says, I'm still a girl, sigo siendo niña. And I use this stamp like my brush, you could say, and made this composition. Later on, I had an exhibition, my first solo exhibition in 2018, where I presented this work along with other works. And up until that time, all of the works that I made, I think they were dedicated to my mother. Even though she is not so interested in art, but this was a way for me to break myself free from, you know, this idea of responsibility towards my mother's feelings. And with time, I have learned that I'm not responsible for anybody's feelings, but for my own. And so this is how, through work, I claim my freedom. And every time I claim my freedom, that I feel, oh, I got out of like this jail, then I find myself in a bigger jail, which is great, but because it keeps it going, it keeps lives going. But you know, sometimes you think, you know, this is it, but it's not. And yeah, that's a good thing about life, I guess. These are some works that I produced for my solo exhibition back in 2018. And it was kind of like a reconciliation with painting. It was a reconciliation with old works. So when I was at the academy, in the third year, I made a abstract series of paintings. And I got a lot of good comments for those paintings, but I wasn't satisfied with those paintings because I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand what abstract meant, you know, what it could mean for me and the work. And I was constantly looking for a meaning in my works. So this is also something that that has been a prison for me, you could say, and it's something that I have been taught by my art fathers. And it's this idea that the work needs to have this meaning, you know, like this deep meaning in order for it to be good work. And at this period, I started questioning, you know, what is good work, you know, because even the things that I learned when I was studying art, I started to question them because new things also become a cliche eventually. So I started to question this, and I just took up paintings that I had still from the academy. This is actually one of them. The background is something that I painted, I think, yeah, I think 10, 11 years ago. And then I picked it back up and continued the painting. The same goes for this one. Here you can see pieces of my hair, which I cut. To make this statement, you know, to myself, to give myself that gift of doing something that I really desired, but didn't have the courage to do. And so a whole playfulness started again. And the painting that you see in the image right now, this is a painting that looks a lot like the style that I used when I was at the academy, but I think this is a 3.0 version of it. And I started to let go of that obsession with meaning, you know, with giving my work meaning. And it has been truly liberating. I think it's also a reflection of like inner processes where I step by step start to accept myself more, because I have been rejected by my family and people around me, but you know, the rejection starts here. This is the first place where the rejection starts. So you could say I see my work as my therapy. My work is the vehicle that I use to heal myself, to reflect on things of life. And if people like it and people want to buy it, hey, that's a super win for me. But the work itself, it's already complete without it being sold. It has done his duty for me. So this was a very fun period because I started, you know, to let go of all these concepts and kind of like rules about being an artist, about being a painter. So these are, yeah, I see them like fossils, you could say, of what was happening at that time. Here you see like a collision of my plastic period with this abstract, meaningless work. Because of course there's always meaning to it, but it's not, it's more personal, it's for me. It's not like when you look at this painting, you will not know what I was going through at that time specifically. So that gives me freedom, and I think it also gives the viewer freedom to imagine whatever they see, they want to see in a work. This is one of the sculptures of the plastic period. I would like to go to my Instagram page because I would like to share. Nuevamente, miro mis manos. Yes. All right. Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay. So this is my Instagram page, and I would like to show you a project that I did in the Netherlands. This was during, let me check the dates. This was during 2018. This was during All You Can Art in Curaçao in Rotterdam. And so we had this huge hall where we had different artists working. What you see right now is my studio working space. And I think we were like 5 or 6 artists, and we all had like our atelier studio there. And something that is a big part of ICA, All You Can Art, is the way that we interact with people and how we make it possible so that visitors can participate in whatever is going on. Because there is this idea about museums, you know, you can't touch anything and everything is like, so, you know, this is All You Can Art's way of doing that. And so we all as artists have to come up with a way of including the visitors in our work. And so there is actually here, that painting that you see over here, it's actually a painting that I made from the Parasasa beach here on Curaçao. That's where the World Trade Center is. And I didn't finish the painting in time. And I just decided to present it like that, you know, in the thinking of, you know, accepting myself just the way I am and just presenting the painting as, you know, as far as I could get with the painting. But this, you know, looking at this, at that painting, at that composition gave me the idea or inspired me to simplify the way that I painted. Then came of course, the request of having the visitors participate with your work. And so I decided, you know, that I would let children, visitors, but mostly children, paint my works. So what I did is I still wanted to be in control of the composition, of course, but I wanted the visitors to still, you know, be part of the work and do something with the work. So I would take, like you see in the image, I would take certain areas and I would ask them, okay, this area, you know, fill it in with this color. And so I work with mostly children because they are free and they want to have fun. The adults are a bit more hesitant and insecure. So I work with mostly children. And when I noticed this, I felt like I was putting them to work, you know? So I call this project child labor. And it's kind of like a joke, you know, towards the first world countries. and how they profit from child labor in, you know, third world countries where they produce their big brands like Adidas, Nike, and such. Yeah, I wanted to do something like that back, you know, to do it back with, because I was in the Netherlands, but in a good way, you know, and the children enjoy it very much. After they would paint what I asked them to paint, they would get a stroopwafel, a cookie, and they were very happy. And it was one of the projects that I have enjoyed the most. And again, this is about freedom. This is about not turning a grudge, you know, something that you do not agree with, you know, something you're against, but by turning it around and doing something positive with it. And for me, this is freedom, you know. For me, this is like the purest sample of freedom. Let me see if I can show you the result of, could it be this? I think it's this one, yes. So this is the, all of the paintings that you see here. Okay, this is more family. This is not, this is family pictures of the show. Let me see if I can find, yes, this is of the show itself. This is how I presented the results of this interaction with the public. And as you can see, I think I produced 19 paintings during that summer, together with visitors, of course. And little by little, even more and more, I start to let go of this idea, you know, of the work having a meaning. At that time, I didn't look at it that way, but now that I look back at it, I see how special this moment was for my work. Huh? So that was child labor. After child labor, I continued using the tape. So the tape was something that wasn't there before child labor. Child labor brought this to me. And so period, my abstract period started. This is a work where I used some of my paintings to create a sculpture. This work in particular is a work that I made for an online exhibition, and it was meant for I think it's the Day Against Violence Against Women in Latin America. And so it was an exhibition where artists all around the world, female artists, participated and exhibited online, so on Facebook and other social media, to exhibit different kind of works based on this theme about, you know, being against the violence of women. I don't think in Europe this is such a big issue. I'm not sure. But in Latin America, it's a big issue. Like daily, there's like, I don't know how many women dying every day because of violence against women, thanks to the macho culture. Making this work, you know, is also a process, part of this process freedom of approaching the work differently. So not hanging the paintings, but let them become part of this sculptural setting. What you see in the photographs right now, that's called Ow. That's a work I made, I think in 2019, is my smallest work in public space, because I don't think this is a mural really, but some people will classify it as a mural. This work was made on a really shitty day, on a very shitty day, on a day that I didn't want to be on this earth. And it was also a day, a special day where a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, would regain her freedom as well. And she would pass by this spot. So I actually made it, you know, to release that that I had inside me, and also as a gift to this friend. It's my favorite work that I have in public space. And it is powerful because, you know, when you're feeling fucked up, you at least I think, okay, I don't want to face this. I don't want to think about this. Let me escape. And the escape can be many things. The escape is most of the time alcohol, of course, and drugs. But that day I chose a different escape. And the escape was to turn that bad thing into something positive and beautiful. And that's what happened here. So the stories, you know, that I'm telling you guys about the works, it's not, for me, it's not really about the works. For me, it's about the journey that I am able to take because of the works. So, you know, I had given artist talks in different occasions, and I remember once someone in the audience asked me, because I had this whole like presentation, and just like now, it's all about feelings, because it's all about feelings. And he was like, yeah, but let's talk about painting, you know, like he was like not willing to say, you're talking too much about your feelings, let's talk about painting. And I must say, there isn't really much to talk about painting, to be honest, because like I said, it's a vehicle that I use to do this other thing that is the main goal for me. And this approach is the same approach that I have when I'm teaching. When I'm teaching my students, it doesn't matter what technique I'm giving, whatever it is, the idea and the thought, the thoughts behind any workshop that I give is it's not healing, because I think healing is this word that is a bit vague, but it's about self-recognition, about recognizing yourself, about recognizing your abilities, your qualities. And nowadays, what I notice in most of the students is that they're super, super talented kids, but they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in the work. And they create awesome things, and I tell them. And most of the time they're like, really, they don't believe in what I see in their work. And so my focus in any workshop that I give is to reinforce the self-esteem, to reinforce the belief in oneself. And I always, you know, because it's something that I struggled a lot with, and I wish that someone told me about this earlier, but you know, you don't get earlier than you're supposed to. So this is, you know, kind of like my mission. It has been my mission in my lessons, and my friends also know that this is also part of my life, you know, because when we interact, this is also happening, but in a, in a context of friendship. Here, this is a period, this is made recently, quite recently. I think I made this in 2020, so last year. And here I'm getting like way more abstract and refined in the shapes that I use within the paintings. And I like it a lot. I love the aesthetic. I love the freedom that I have. Like, it's like, I don't know, having children and not have to, how do you say, to feed them or something, or have a responsibility. It's this freedom. But, like I mentioned earlier, every time I break out of a prison, there is this new, way bigger one that I find myself in. And I think that in my work, I feel I have reached that point a little bit. This is one, I think this is the most recent work that I made. It was part of an exhibition in Bloemhof. We recently closed the exhibition, and this work was inspired by our most recent elections here on the island. This work is titled A Tower of Lies. And the colors that you see are the colors, more or less, that our government uses in their logo. And I just, because this is also about freedom, being able to express your opinion on surrealist situations that are happening in our politics here. And so this is, one of the outlets. And last but not least, this is the last project that I would like to share with you. This is my baby project. This is my favorite project of them all, and it's called Unbranded Tattoo. And this project was born in 2019 during another edition of All You Can Art. At that moment, in this period, I'm trying to come closer to the things that I really enjoy, because painting and being an artist had become like this very strict thing where it was work. There was no fun, it was purely work. So I wanted to come closer, to enjoy my work more. So something that I do in my free time is tattoos. I'm a tattoo enthusiast. I know some of the basics. I still have a lot to learn, but I wanted to incorporate this with my practice and the interest that I had. So the project is called Unbranded Tattoo, and it's because I want to unbrand people. And this project is related to freedom, and so this freedom is also related to our history with slavery here on the island, but not only here on the island. I mean, all the other countries in the Americas and the Caribbean that had been colonized by the first world countries. And the effect of this, of what happened in our history is, how do you say that, Omar? Minderwaardigheidscomplex. Minderwaardigheidscomplex. I hope everybody can understand. It's a complex where you undervalue yourself. You think you're less than others, especially you're less than the white people, the colonizers. And I wanted to undo this. So the project goes like this. I tell people about the project, and if they're interested, they participate. And the way that we participate is I have a conversation with the participant, and we talk about slavery, about not being free, and about the different ways of slavery and not being free, because slavery is just one and very graphic example of those. I have a conversation about the slavery period, and then we also talk about freedom. And in all of the conversation, when we come to this part, there always comes a personal anecdote from the participant, something intimate and personal. And so based on this feedback from the participant, I create a drawing, a sketch that is based on this beautiful memory of freedom. And at the end, I make the sketch, show it to the participant, and if the participant likes it, then we tattoo it right away. And if not, that's okay. We keep the drawing, and there is no compromise. There is no obligation with this project. So far, I have tattooed 26 unbranded tattoos, including myself. All the unbranded tattoos come with a kind of, it's like the signature of the project. And it's like this vinkia, you know? En español decimos como un chulito. And this, you know, vinkia, it's like a check mark, and it's the check mark is for like good, you know, like approved. And it's empty because our color of the skin fills it in, because the only approval that we need at the end is our own. And that is the message that I leave the participant with. And it's my favorite project because, I mean, I love tattooing. That's one of the things why I like it so much, but also because of what happens in these conversations. We during the conversations, you know, we talk about unvaluable things you know, I cannot even describe it, but for me it's magical, and I really enjoy doing this this project, and it's a project that I plan to continue doing, you know, until when, I don't know, but this project is not over. I am looking forward to continuing this project in the future. This, what you see here, is it's this little studio that that we had for this project in the Netherlands. The paint job was done by me, of course. This lady had such a beautiful story. Cannot share it with you guys, but we had a very emotional moment. And this is with most of the works done during this project. I wanted to end with this project because I think this project represents this journey of freedom the best. Right now, I'm finalizing my work here at IBB. At the end of the month, I will stop working at IBB after 7 years. It was a very hard decision to take, but it was necessary, because I feel this is yet another moment, you know, that I need to claim my freedom. So it's like, you know, IBB is my parental house, you know, it's my home. And like every kid, you know, you have to spread your wings and try to make a life of your own. This is not a goodbye. This is like, I'll see you in the future. But it's time for me to move further. And it's not only in that sense, but also in the sense of my artistic practice. I feel like I'm at a very good place now, and I feel like ik voel dat ik uitgeschilderd ben. I feel like I don't have these heartaches that I need to put into paintings and express them. I'm not sure it's scary. This feeling, these thoughts are scary as fuck because I don't know what is going to happen next. At this moment, I'm learning new things. I'm trying to learn to work digital. I'm very analog with my hands, but you know, technology is catching up on me, and so I'm exploring many different things. And one thing that I want to do for sure is to focus a little bit more on my tattoo skills and develop them even more. How this is going to collide for me in my artistic practice, I don't know yet. Of course, the unbranded tattoo project is already existent and I want to continue with it. But what is going to happen, I'm not sure. After that, I finish here at IBB. I'm going to the Netherlands for 6 months to help out a friend, an artist friend. His name is Bram Ellens, and he has an exhibition right now in Doornburg in the Netherlands. He invited me over to give him a hand with his exhibition. So I'm gonna do that for 6 months. And then after that, I'm planning to continue with a trip that I want to do through South America. And the idea behind this trip is to actually remove myself from all that I know, really. So my family, my friends, the culture that I grew up with. I want to see who I can be, what kind of work I will produce, being in a different environment, having different stimulation, and see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen, but one thing I know for sure is that I will never stop creating, because that's just the way I know how to be. And so yeah, I'm very excited for this new chapter in my life and in my career as well. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted through my social media. And I think this was it. Thank you for listening.